Papa Brad, and welcome to the iArcadians, the show for fans of home arcade. While you're here, don't forget to slam that like button. Why don't you subscribe to the channel? It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. Thank you, and on with the show. Be a hero and subscribe. We're glad you're here. iArcadians assemble.
Is this my big shot?
This
Brad?
is it. This is it. You're
Okay,
on.
Here we go. Hold
you
on.
Said you wanted
Hold
to do
on.
it.
Hold on. Hello, arcade gamers, and welcome back to the iArcadians. Take it from here, Papa Brad.
That's what I'm talking about. Awesome job. Awesome job.
That's right, Biggie D. I'm putting you out of business.
D, man. Biggie D, arcade gamers, man.
I should have
was
stood in
awesome.
the back, but you wouldn't have seen me.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's cool.
Papa Brad, I have some bad news. They're selling off the assets, the iArcade and the iArcadians. We're in that or part of that sale, the whole name. And I bid 50 cents, and so I'm now the owner of the iArcadians.
Well, awesome. Congratulations.
Well, I'm taking you to court because I'm the creator of this.
You have the
thing.
founder here.
Yeah.
And Brad, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you, I might have copyrighted the name, so all the money's going to me.
Okay,
Oh.
it's all good. It's all good. Well, welcome to the show, man. It's great to have the crew back together.
So
we
I
got so much to talk about today.
I got a question for Step since she said that. So that means you're officially an iArcadian now?
Of course she is. She's been on the show forever.
Well, I know, but I know it was in question there for a minute, but
No comment.
no comment. Well, come on, this is iArcadians 3.0. It's a whole new era.
It's okay. It's okay. No one's gonna come after you.
Steps Ocadians. Well, that's an interesting name. I got Steps Friday show. That's my show.
It's
So there you
okay.
go.
It's okay.
That's
John
Steps
D.
Arcade
John D. was fired. It's okay. He's gone.
God,
I mean,
wish
you have a Friday show.
I
You're
want to
safe.
be honest. I wish John D would come back because
Yeah.
that stream I just
Okay.
watched.
I mean, you love this. This is the guy you like right here, Cyrus. Cyrus. Now I know you're a fan. I had to get you. Look. The bed is open. He's ready. Cyrus is ready for some action.
I don't. So here's the thing. I don't personally have a beef with Cyrus. It's just I think he's just too much of a shill for me, for my taste, to be able to stand the stream. That's just where I'm at.
Yeah, we are officially an Arcade1Up show now. We're rebranding. Okay.
So
We're rebranding. It's a new. Hey, look. It's a whole new world.
when I see Cyrus, I think to myself, Arcade1Up wanted to get their own Michael Spy back. That's
Michael was never that much of a show.
Michael was smooth though.
Yeah,
Michael
well,
was
you know, the
smooth.
imitation's never as good as the original. But
Yeah.
but that's the way I take it, anyways. But
At Games Cadian says we should rename ourselves to the At Games Cadian, the iArcadians, and he renamed it to the At Games Cade. Okay.
well, why are we?
By the way, we all have At Games. I love At Games stuff. I've had At Games all along. We got Carlo in the chat. Good to see you. Cyrus is going to bring us the claw machine. We will miss John D.
Every time I hear the name Cyrus, I think of Cyrus the Virus from Con Air.
I think of Miley Cyrus. That's the only Cyrus I think of when I hear.
Are all the new Arcade1Ups going to dispense tickets like when you do well at the game? You can turn them in for a little stuffed animal.
Absolutely, Brooklyn. Absolutely.
Well, let's go back to the topic of the show: hidden arcade gems, and we're starting off with the biggest news today. What happened to Brooklyn? The Arcade1Up Ms. Pac-Man.
I'm behind this awesome Miss Pac-Man.
Look at that. Sorry, Brooklyn. This is what you do to us on the show. Like you'll have like a joystick, and this will be us. We'll be behind it.
That's pretty much. That was my stream.
I enjoy being behind the Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah, it is.
Miss Pac-Man is packed with this nostalgia that you all know and love from the 80s, from our wonderful partnership with Namco. It's absolutely an arcade classic that you're going to need in your home.
It is an arcade classic.
You're hired.
Yes.
I think it looks pretty good.
But does it have its own theme song like Pac-Man does? That's my question.
Pac-Man does have his own theme song.
Yeah. Miss Pac-Man.
And our first topic of the show is Arcade1Up Ms. Pac-Man. Arcade1Up Ms. Pac-Man Deluxe is announced. Is it any good? Panel discussion.
Well, how would we know? There's only a picture of it.
It's the
same games. It's the same PCB
with the outer riser.
I like the way it looks.
Okay. You like this? To me, this is a complete fail. First of all, Miss Pac-Man is supposed to be baby blue. This has no nostalgia for me. I don't know what this is. This is not what Miss Pac-Man looks like.
There was black ones in the arcade, though.
I've never seen one like this, like from back in the day. Miss Pac-Man is supposed to be baby blue and pink.
Maybe it was a conversion job. Maybe.
Yeah, even Michael B was like, "What's up with the colors?" I mean, that's
they did that with the Partycades. They had one that was that color as well.
Several retro gamers have told us that the black Miss Pac-Man was actually in the arcade, and they have nostalgia for that one. So through our partnership with Namco, we decided that absolutely this was a great choice to bring to the home, and we're looking forward to all the arcade gamers enjoying the nostalgia.
Wait a second. Did they use the same material for Michael B's shirt as those sheets?
That's what I'm saying. Look at the sheets in his shirt. It's like
there's a conspiracy here.
There's a conspiracy, man. They're in cahoots.
He just wore an undershirt on stream.
It's like, is that a Fruit and Loom? Like, did you just wake up out of bed? Like, I mean, isn't he officially like he's working with Arcade1Up? I would think get a little dressed up for this big stream. Here's my comment. I had to clip this. They really phoned this one in. Where is any innovation or improvement at all? Where is it? I don't see it, honestly.
Well, what's the point at this point? I mean, people just want to buy Miss Pac-Man. It goes to the store, they put it out there in the middle of the store, and people buy it at Christmas time because they need to buy something. I've seen it. I mean, I've seen it in the stores. People buy it. They all go out the door. Miss Pac-Man sells, and it'll continue to sell. I don't blame them for doing it, and I don't have a problem with the Miss Pac-Man being black because I have a friend that wants a black Miss Pac-Man. And it's fine. It's fine.
It's good. It's good to have something different, But what I'm gonna say is, Ed and Soft was asking. Yes, Pac-Man has a theme song. If you want to see an amazing stream that was very well done, you need to go check out Steps Gaming. Steps, tell us about your amazing stream. I was on it. Okay. But tell us about it for a minute.
I got a pocket full of quarters and I'm heading to the arcade.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was one of my favorite streams I've been on.
Jerry Buckner.
Me as well.
Jerry Buckner was on the stream, and he was the co-creator of Pac-Man Fever. And he joined the stream about half an hour in. So if you do click on the stream, it's about half an hour in because he was a little bit late. But we got to ask him everything under the sun about the album, and it was a very amazing, great stream. Loved it, and definitely a highlight for me. Definitely a highlight of YouTube so far.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Absolutely. Shout out. Right, Mikey?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was a great interview. I enjoyed it.
I'm telling you, go watch that stream, even though it's not this week. It's a great watch. It's a great watch, Well,
I'll tell you, just from my perspective, I'm not super familiar on his work going into it and everything like you guys were. But just digging getting in his brain and asking questions about the music industry from the late 70s and early 80s and stuff. It was so fascinating for me.
It was really interesting. It's a really good stream. We have our friends at Ettonsoft here. And since Ettonsoft is here right now, this was actually, I usually do an outline, but I'm gonna break my own rule, and I'm just gonna go straight to this big news coming from Ettonsoft. Circus Interstellar is receiving its first patch on the 6th. An iArcade port will be available on the same day through itch.io. So we'll finally be able to actually legally get our versions of Circus Interstellar on our iRcade.
Absolutely. It'll be absolutely a perfect version.
It'll be absolutely amazing. It will be absolutely incredible. Absolutely. The show is absolutely just went off the rails.
Maybe that's half the point.
Absolutely just went off the rails.
Too bad, too sad. Of
What was that?
It's pretty dope.
Okay.
Okay, we're back.
And we're back.
Okay, so everyone's quick take on this Pac-Man. What do you think? What do you think? I hate it.
I like it. You don't.
I hate it
because it's not baby blue.
Yeah.
I think it's cool with the front graphic. I don't know if that's a light up coin door.
You have to pay $20 to Retro 530 for the lights.
Okay. Now we're gonna go with Steps. Let me see if I can make this work. There you go. Steps.
Okay,
What do you think of it?
I like it. You know, if I was gonna get a Pac-Man cabinet,
Okay. Arcade1Up.
I think this would be one to look at because I like Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah.
It's sharp looking.
Hey.
It looks like it belongs in my grandmother's bathroom.
It does.
Because she's long gone, but she had a pink bathroom and it would look really good in there.
Yeah.
And yeah. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just being funny. It's absolutely an okay choice.
Yeah. It's not the worst, but it doesn't have nostalgia for me. But look who we got. We got some guests. Ed and Sal, what's happening?
What's up, guys?
Welcome to the stream.
Hello. What's up? It's just me right now because Matt had to run back in, and I'm gonna have to run back in a few minutes. But
thanks for coming on, Stefan.
Yeah, no problem. How's it going, guys?
Going good. It's going good. Big news. You got a patch coming out, huh?
Yeah. We're aiming for, Yep. Yeah, it's going to be the final patch, other than like maybe bug fixes that come out and everything. But yeah, it's going to be the final patch to Circus Interstellar, and that's going to be on the 6th in a couple days. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be doing on the same day. We're going to be releasing the iArcade version on itch.io.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've never been to itch.io, so I have no idea what I'm doing. So I mean, it's not hard to. I know how easy it is now to push main games to iArcade, but it's pretty much the same thing for your game, right?
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Same process, pretty much.
Yeah, you just pretty much go on to you just go on the website, you look up the game that you're looking for on the search bar, and then you'll find our page. And what's really cool about itch.io is that if you can set it up to where if you buy it like the DRM free version, you get Steam version, as well as when it's available, you get the iArcade version. So you'll get like a DRM free version, a Steam key, and the iArcade version. So
that's very cool.
The iArcade version is going to be fully pre-packaged too. Some people were asking me about that. Yeah, we're gonna pre-package it with everything, so it'll have like the load screen that shows all your controls, and that'll be custom.
That's cool.
Okay, that's awesome. So coming soon. That's real exciting.
They have their own podcast too now.
I know. I saw.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's that's a new venture. We've never done a podcast before, and if you watch it, you will see that we have never done a podcast before.
You guys,
you watch this.
You watch this. Hey, man, if we can do it, anyone can do it.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Absolutely, it's going to be awesome.
Absolutely. And so, other Arcade1Up news, because we are now Arcade1Up channel. We are transitioning. Another great shot here.
Isn't that the same games that's on the other cabinet?
Look at this. Look at this worn out list of games. Pac-Man XL games.
Is Miss Pac-Man in there?
No. Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man apparently can't be on the same cab. It's
the
most
divorce.
Ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
They got a divorce.
They're like, people want to have different. No, it's called you're greedy. You're greedy. You want to force people to buy 2 cabs instead of 1. And there is a game that they even made. They made Class of 1981, but they didn't use the real arcade ROM. which is
Really?
amazing. Yeah, you can actually play the real class of 1981 right now on iArcade, and you can play the fast and slow versions of Pac-Man, the best versions ever made, with Continue, and Miss Pac-Man,
I've never played
and
the best.
Galaga,
Huh.
and Fast Shoot Galaga, all by using codes. It's amazing.
Is-
on
Is
iArcade.
Class of 91 that that
81.
3D? Is it of 81? Is that
Yeah.
3D fighter game? Yeah.
No,
Or I
no,
think-
No,
Maybe
No,
I'm
it's a
thinking
split.
Bible
It's a
or something.
split cabinet.
yeah.
So it had multiple instead of just being like a Miss Pac-Man
Miss
cabinet.
Pac-Man, it does it all.
You have that. You have Galaga. You get like the best of both.
You get
on it.
three. You get all the versions of 3 games. 3 of the biggest games ever made. You get all the versions of Pac-Man, the versions of Miss Pac-Man, and Galaga, all on one machine. And then there's codes you enter before you do it, and it plays amazing. You know,
Yeah,
it
and
plays
they have the
amazing.
actual arcade. I've seen them in people's homes.
Mhm.
They have the full size arcade, and it's got the split. It's split right down the center with the graphic. One side is the Miss
Yeah.
Pac-Man.
Yeah, it's a
One
classic
side is the
arcade.
Galaga.
You know,
That's pretty cool. The though I gotta say I am getting tired of seeing that list of games because that's like so many of the so many 1-Up arcade cabinets I've seen have that exact list, and I'm like, aren't there more games out there? Like,
Well, I think after this year, like Arcade1Up, as far as being 3/4, they've pretty much perfected the Pac-Man cabinet. So I don't know, like, what are they gonna do next year? Like the only real thing left is to put them all in one cabinet, but I don't know why they can't do that. If they're not doing it for the reason Brad was saying, or if it's for some sort of like license reason where you
they've
can't
already
have both
done
on
it.
there.
The real class of 1981 has all the games in it.
Can I show this clip real quick?
Is it going to get me a claim?
No, it's gonna be too short.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, now tell me, Noah. I've always
Turn the
wanted to
volume
know,
up.
What is the difference between Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man, really?
Well, she has a bow in her head.
That's it.
There you go.
Great.
There you go. There you go. What's the difference between Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man? Thank you, Steps. That was truly enlightening. Thank you. So now we know, and you know, knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
I'm trying to get my headphones back in. There we go. I just when you're talking about Miss Pac-Man, I always think about that clip from Wayne's World.
That was awesome. That was awesome. That was awesome. But anyway, we talked about the Miss Pac-Man, and let me see here. We got some clips. Here's the games it comes with. You look at how much repetition there is between these two games. I mean, they're practically the same cab. Look at the games.
oh yeah,
Let's go back and forth.
Wait,
Look at
is
the games on this. Wait a minute.
Mappy's
Tell me
humble.
they're not putting the screw on you, because
Dig Dug,
there's only
Dig
one
Dug,
game that's
Mappy.
different. Mainly, it's mainly
Going
Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. Look at the game list. It's like you're buying 2 of the same thing.
what is Rompers? I've
Wait,
never even.
is Galaga on Pac-Man? It is.
Yeah,
on
it
there.
is.
Yeah.
Galaga
Rompers is
88?
weird.
Which
Is King
one?
of Balloons
Push over
on
these
both?
walls. I mean, I love Namco games, but my point is, like, it's so much repetition.
Isn't
you know?
Rompers the one where you're like
If they
jumping
would have done
like on
Class
those
of 1981
trampolines
right,
and
you
going
wouldn't need
higher
any
up?
of this.
Wait,
No,
Galaga
Rompers is you push
Is
over
it?
walls. Like there's enemies and you push walls on top of them.
All right,
Yeah,
so
Believe
I
me,
mean
it's nothing
Mappy.
great.
That's
you know,
on there.
people always made fun of iArcade for the games. Look at some of these turds on this thing: Rompers, Dragon Buster, King and Balloon. Those aren't great.
Dude, they have Galaga 88 on the Pac-Man, but not the Miss Pac-Man.
Is it on there?
That's weird.
Galaga 88 is on Pac-Man.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah.
And then the other game that's on Miss Pac-Man that's not on Pac-Man was right in the same spot as Galaga 88. If you go back, it's King and Balloon.
That is awesome. That's awesome.
Hey,
But
are
you
they
can kind of
doing?
compare the games list?
Are they gonna do a
Basic.
Like, I wonder. Like,
I
I
don't
heard
think
that
they'll ever do a Berserk Cab because I don't think it's a big enough franchise for them.
They could
Yeah,
throw it on an
They could
Atari
throw it on something as kind of like an afterthought, but I don't think they
Atari.
would ever do it.
because Atari owns it now.
Yeah, how do I remove this? If I say kick from studio, it's just going to remove the video. Huh? I don't want to kick you from the studio.
I took the video down, didn't I?
It's still on. No, it's on my StreamYard. Can you
I
take the
hit
video down?
stop
from your-
screen. There.
Now it's gone. Thanks. Okay.
I don't see it.
Well, I see it because I'm seeing the
It's down at the
controls, I think.
bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No
I'm
problem,
sorry
no
I brought it up. I just was like, oh man.
Oh no,
I
that was awesome. That was awesome. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing.
That Wayne's World game, or that Wayne's World thing, reminded me though that they had there's a classic version of, what is that? It had the two stoner guys on it, Silent Bob and
Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
Jay and Silent Bob. They have a video game for that now, and it's like a classic retro. Yeah. That's what they need to make an arcade cabinet for.
There was a Wayne's World arcade, not arcade game, Super NES game. It probably was terrible. I never played it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Terrible.
And on to our next topic. In true Brooklyn Menace fashion, the Atari 2600 Plus.
Yeah, this is the big reason I'm actually here. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. Look at this.
Give me. I need
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, dude, I want that.
I want that. I don't know. Call me a retro geek or whatever, but I want that. That looks cool to me.
We already know you're getting one, Brad. Come on.
Yeah, I ordered one. I ordered one
Is that
the day I heard about it. Like I read the games that it came with, and I just read about it, and I was like, I gotta have this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it plays the carts, HDMI out. I mean, that's.
I wasn't sure if it would play the cards. I thought maybe it was like all show and it was all just going to be digital. I was like really hoping it was going to play the cards because I need a 2600 and I can't find a working one.
Yeah, they're not always easy to find. I have a dead one as well.
Yeah, and just my general opinion is, it's emulation, but it's still really cool. And I like the Retron 77, which was the early Atari emulation box that had HDMI out. So I'm thinking this is probably gonna at least be as good, if not better. So I'm on board to see what happens, and I have hundreds of cartridges. So be prepared. Papa Brad's gonna do a hardcore review on this thing when I get it. And we're moving on to our next topic. Wait,
we hardly even talked about that topic.
Okay. What's everyone want to say? We'll just round panel. Steps, you kick us off.
One, we didn't talk about the extra
off.
cartridges you could buy with that 2600 Plus. They have other accessories that are coming out with the 2600 Plus that I think are a great value. Like one, that comes the paddles with the 4-in-1 cart. Do you have that? Do you have a picture of that at all?
I don't. This is it. This is what you get.
Okay.
We watched the show together in 2 hours. This is what you get, dude.
Okay, so for $39.99, you get 2 Atari paddles and a 4-in-1 game cartridge. So it's got 4 games on it. What the 4 games are, I don't know.
I have all the games. It's I think you get the Video Olympics. You have the Pong. You get like the paddle, a Night Driver. There's like all paddle games, like Atari ones.
But see, there's people like me.
Go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful day.
Please support Circus Interstellar and Ettensoft. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Those two are always working. By their game.
They're always working.
I know.
Thank you so much.
I know, always working. But we're down to 4 days a week now, so I have Mondays.
I just want to say this too. While you're here, I want to say this. We were talking about hidden gems later on the show, about hidden gems in arcade games, and I really think Circus Interstellar is a hidden gem. So thank you for bringing it to the iArcade. It would have been one of the best games on the system if the company would have went out of business. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
And guess what? It's going to get there anyway. It's going to be on the iArcade.
Absolutely.
Before you know it. It'll be there before you know it anyway.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm just really excited to like get this one out because I really want. I've been really itching to work on Super Circus Interstellar like the whole time, because you guys know that like this was kind of a weird thing where we just ended up updating the old game, and it's like, there's a lot of stuff I want to do with Super, so I'm excited to get this out there and then get started on that. So
well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show too. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. How do I leave again?
Okay.
You just hit your phone against the dashboard a few times.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Atari
Thanks for coming on the
2600
show.
Plus is a good way to play Atari.
Absolutely. Okay.
So the paddles, $40, comes with 4-in-1 cart. And then they got the Berserk cartridge. That's the enhanced version.
I might buy the Berserk, even though I have a Berserk that talks on Atari.
That gives you the voiceover that the arcade had. the intruder alert and all that kind of stuff. So I'm impressed with the way they did it, and I'm hoping that other companies like Sega take a note from this. And I would buy a Sega Genesis or a Sega Master System that played cartridges again, and release new cartridges in a heartbeat.
I agree, Step.
Yeah.
I really love the minis, but this is like the next step. This reminds me of like the 3/4 scale now retro console game, but you can actually put your cartridge in it. That just makes it great.
That's cool. That's cool. Nick should be off the
Hello, arcade gamers.
What do you think? What do you think, Nick?
No, I think that's pretty cool. It's going to expose a whole new generation of gamers that never got to play Atari 2600.
Yeah, I mean, these are like the dinosaurs of games. I mean, these are games.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're going back to prehistoric. But what do you think, Mikey?
I think it's great, and I mean, yeah, I'm thinking about picking it up. I mean, we'll see. I got a lot of other purchases to make as well, but I mean, to be able to play it on the actual, with a controller, the way it's supposed to be played, because if you're going to play Atari 2600 games or 7800 games, you need the original.
Yeah, the 7800 too. That was the biggest thing that pushed me immediately to get it. The 7800. 7800 is a really expensive machine to buy, and you get that too. So I was excited immediately and on that day one. So
thank you for humoring me about talking about that a little bit more.
Well, you are officially the Atari queen now.
Yeah,
so.
she is the Atari queen. I mean, for sure.
I figure that's going to be the case for the rest of my life now that I left that Atari joystick on stream the whole time.
Yeah, that was an awesome. They should send you at least a console for that. That was a fantastic ad for Atari.
I was so focused on the interview, man. I was so focused on the interview.
It was great. It was great. I don't think it made that big of a difference, but it's awesome.
It's funny. It's funny now. I can make fun of myself.
But Steps, you touched on Sega, and do you guys know who Adam Karolki is? I think I'm saying his name correctly. He's a YouTuber, a bigger YouTuber, and he does a lot of like console stuff. And he had a really cool video I recommend watching, talking about why all we see from Sega is like Genesis Mini and Genesis collections, why we don't see Master System, and why we'll probably never see
the arcade games. There's so many arcade games that never are going to come to anything.
Sega Saturn, unfortunately. The only other one that's a possibility would be Dreamcast, and the reason why we haven't seen any Dreamcast, like a mini console or something like that for that, is because the hardware to make it'll be like $300 in the store. So, it's like a price for the technology thing. So is everybody willing to pay $300 to basically get a new Dreamcast that emulates all the old games?
I'll tell you one thing. If they released not a Game Gear Micro, that thing is like too tiny, but a Game Gear like Mini, or just a Game Gear that had a bunch of games on it, like $150, I would buy that instant buy. I wish they would have made a Game Boy Mini and a Game Gear. Both of those for me would be no-brainers, but I don't get why they haven't.
Yeah, I'm surprised Nintendo didn't jump on the Game Boy, re-release that with a bunch of games on it. That's a good point.
Okay, now we're on to the next topic. Some people are leaving iArcade now that the system is getting all the games we could only dream of ever seeing on this cabinet. They're leaving, and all the games are here. All of them. In my opinion, right now, the iArcade is better than it ever has been as far as being able to play games. You can tell me who's leaving. There are people that we watch, that we listen to, that are publicly leaving. They're saying, I'm selling my iArcade. Now it's just another emulation device. Like, yes, that's awesome. I mean,
and it's one of the best emulation devices you can get your hands on, in all honesty.
It is amazing.
Yeah, so how about get rid of your other emulation devices and keep the iArcade, since it's the best one?
Absolutely. And then I'm just going to keep bringing this up over and over, but could sideloading have saved the iArcade? Did iArcade actually shoot themselves in the foot from the get-go by having a harsh stance on emulation? literally, this is the best MAME emulator I've ever played. I have a PC. I have a, over $1,000 PC, and I like playing the games more on the iArcade now that I'm playing them and getting them ported.
You better be careful what you say, man.
Do you have to? Do you have to get your hands a little dirty? Maybe a little bit, but I mean, it's out there. It's out there now. I mean, the genie has been let out of the bottle, and it's a whole new world.
So, in order for them to have been successful that way, the cabinets, they would have had to make money on them instead of losing money on them.
But if everybody knew going in, you can sideload the thing, they would have sold more.
The user base would have exploded. Believe me, if anyone in this arcade community, when they play this thing and they see how smooth games run, when you're playing Capcom fighters and they're like smooth as butter, you're not missing any frames. This iArcade would have exploded if they would have put the ability to sideload. Not done it themselves, but just had that option, like some other companies have done.
But technically, the way you're getting the games on there is like you're moving them wirelessly to the cabinet. It's not like you're plugging something physically in to a USB. So they would have had to have it designed that way.
Well, you are putting a USB on it though. You had to put USB on it.
You are, but then but the way you're getting the games,
it's a technicality. To me, they limited their.
But that's the thing in business. Every little technicality like that has something behind it. So they would have had to have got past all of that first to be able to do that. So yes, they should have done it, but they would have had to have done it where there was a USB, you just plug in a stick and move the games that way, do whatever you want.
You said the genie did what now? Because I'm pretty sure the genie sold his iArcade. But a lot of the mainstream YouTubers sold it, and you brought it, you asked. So I
don't know why it would have sold.
Here's my thoughts on that, and it's all fine, Steps. They never really liked it. And that's just the plain honest truth. They had it because every once in a while it provided some content for the channel. But once it no longer is going to provide any content for the channel, it no longer serves any purpose. So you have to look at it that way. We look at it a little bit different. We're fans of it. We enjoy it. And whether or not it's going to make our channels grow by promoting it and playing on it, we don't care.
Yeah, we just love playing the games. Isn't that right, Mikey?
That's right. And
it's all about the games and how the games run on the machine.
Yeah, and I mean, like Brad was saying, I mean, I have a PC here. I mean, that I set up as a MAME cabinet. What my original Gen 1 Street Fighter 2 cabinet, I had a PC in it at one point, and I actually took the PC out of it. And part of the reason why is because if you're playing the games on a PC, I mean, at least that I've seen, you can never fully escape the PC feel. Like if you're hitting the keyboard and pressing 6 buttons at once, like a kid's liable to do, those are 6 keyboard inputs, and the more you keep doing it, it'll mess with keys.
The PC was not made for that.
No, and I mean, and a PC wants to do a lot more than that. And like even the best front ends, like I had Big Box. I have Big Box installed on this computer right now. That's another program that's continuously going to need updates, and there's just all these emulators with inside of it. So you're talking about all these little things that if something goes haywire, now a section of your games aren't working, and the iArcade erases all of that.
Yeah, it's the streamlined interface, man. It goes lightning fast out of arcade games.
Well, look behind Mikey right now.
Out.
You see all the arcade cabinets behind him, right?
Yeah.
Which two look like the best, like you would want to take home? When you look behind him right now, I mean, and the Tony USA is another issue. It's a custom job, but like. Sure. If you look behind him, you can see the iArcade and you can see the MVSX, and they're just a different world of quality over the other ones he has. And so It's
Hold on, Cuddles is calling me.
Cuddle.
I'll be back.
Okay. Anyway, so whose phone is your phone? Okay. Anyway, like the mainstream YouTubers is much like Brooklyn said. They're trying to be as much of a commercial to make their shows commercially viable.
Right.
And so when it lost that commercial viability to them, their interest waned, right? But at the same point, like I look at it now and I'm like, man, did we ever mess up? We messed up a lot.
Honestly, as a gamer, is now the time to leave that? Now is the best time ever to have an iArcade, or especially Gen 1. Sorry, Nix. Don't kill me now.
Yeah.
He has a goal. Don't kill me, Nix. Nix is fuming there. I can see the rage behind those eyes.
It's true because, like, here's the thing, man. You got an iArcade, you got the MVSX, you got the AT games, and those products, like they are a lot more useful. They're a lot better quality, and they make a lot more sense. But yet we were being led to believe that this isn't the answer.
It is the answer. It's fantastic. It is so amazing.
100% is. And
better than ever.
I'm not saying that because I hate Arcade1Up. I'm not saying that because of any other reason other than just my experience in using them, is that they were better products. And I think the community missed the ball on it because of either YouTubers and manipulation of YouTubers. And people can hate me all they want for me rejecting that comment, but I'm just gonna be honest. And from my viewpoint, we messed up.
We did mess up because iArcade, they were going, like, the indie games they were getting were really good. We got stuff like Galacticon, we got stuff by like Donut Dodo, then we got stuff people hated like Bearsis too. Okay, and I'll admit a lot of people hate that. I don't hate it, but a lot of people hated it. Okay?
Yeah.
But if they would have went in allowing side loading, you would have had all these great old games that no one wants to pay for anyway, because you could play them on a Raspberry Pi. You could play them 100,000 ways on 100 different devices. And it would have given a gigantic platform for indie gamers to launch their games with arcade controls.
It would have worked better for them to make some better decisions too, because they wasted a lot of money on overpaid for some time. They mismanaged something.
Yeah, some of those classic arcade titles, like I don't know how much they paid for. I heard some ridiculous amount that they paid for Congo Bongo, and I'm like, it's okay. It's a good game. It's a good old school game, but I mean, it's too expensive to buy.
That seemed like a big game to me because I used to play it a lot when I was younger.
But I mean, is it worth $100,000? I don't know how much they paid for it. They paid a lot.
Not being able to stream it through the HDMI, you couldn't even show it off.
Well, that's what, like, I was seriously thinking about loading up an alternate version of it.
Just
override change the name of it.
So then you can...
I don't want to override it because all the officially released games I have, I do kind of feel like they're, it's almost like Gollum. It's like precious.
But, they're precious. Like I'm not deleting. I'm not. I did accidentally overwrite Robbie Roto, but it's the same game.
Yeah.
But
it's the same game.
Game,
I haven't even put the board in yet.
The same.
I'm always like ready to start. And then I just say, then I don't do it. But that just tells you, like I said, I have so many games on it right now that I want to put more stuff on and play around because there's definitely some games I'd love to play on the iArcade, like my pick for tonight, which we'll talk about soon. But I'm still having a great time with what I have, Yeah. So I'm in no rush.
I do want to say that I don't. Like, I will give you an honest opinion if Arcade1Up has a product. I don't hate Arcade1Up. I just feel that...
Yeah, none of us hate Arcade1Up.
I just think people might have been led the wrong way because there were better options out there. That's all. Go ahead, Mikey. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I agree completely. I mean, I don't hate Arcade1Up either. And my biggest thing is the price point that they're selling the stuff at. If you're going to sell it at the higher price point,
quality,
then you need higher quality. If you're not going to raise the quality, then it needs to be at the lower price point. And then I don't really have a problem.
I don't have a problem with it if it's priced.
If I'm getting a cab for $199, $299 or whatever, and I have to go and put joysticks in it or whatever, whatever. But when you're paying $5.99, $6.99, $7.50,
Yeah. You know, it's too much.
I love the
much.
Time
Too
Crisis cabinet, but then you kind of think to yourself, for that price, you can
Yeah.
run through that game in 30 minutes.
Yeah,
You know,
you can run through that game in 30 minutes.
The quality's not there for the price.
That
You
is
let it
actually
and they don't have Time Crisis 2 on there.
Uh-huh.
Well,
So-
they need to sell that later. So
That-
it's an okay. It looks like one of their better cabinets.
I think
but
it looks really good.
but not for $750.
Yeah.
That thing needed to start at $500 or $600 and make its way down to $400.
$750. It's only $50 more than a Mia USB board with the buy it now on eBay.
It'll
Let's
go
check this
down, but you
out.
know how it is. Like
Check
in
this
our
out.
community, like we're all the people that want to be first. That like we can't wait. You feel like you wait such a long time for them to release an actual new product that's a new game. So when it does come out, people just want it right away.
Yeah.
But the same thing always happens. The people that jump on it find out like a month or two later, it's already starts going down. So
Yeah.
So-
it just pays to wait.
Only the suckers pre-order and buy it first. Only suckers.
Should I sell
Only
my
suckers.
white mystery encoder board since the
Only
black ones?
suckers.
If the black one's worth $500 to
Only
$700,
suckers.
what
Here's
is
what I'm
the white-
saying. Here's what I'm saying. That
What's
that
the
time
white one
crisis
worth?
is only $50 more than the buy it now on this mystery encoder board.
I have
on
I have
eBay.
the elusive whiteboard.
Yeah, so do I. It's the
I know,
so
first
do I.
one. Does that
So
worth
do
more?
I, man. I'm never selling that. That is never going to go for sale. Ever.
It's not being
Never,
sold. I just
ever,
think- I'm
ever.
just being funny. It's
Never, ever.
Don't pay that. Don't pay $500 to $700.
Yeah.
They're making more. Get it on the third batch. Don't overpay. And
Be
get yourself
patient.
on board.
Be patient.
And Cuddles is talking about the all the indie titles, and instead of investing in Congo Bongo, let me just say I love Congo Bongo myself. I think it's a great game. I enjoy it.
But if they enabled side loading, it was a waste of money. That's what I'm
Yeah.
getting at. If they would have dumped that
Yeah.
money into indie developers and gotten some kick-ass indie games, they would have been so far ahead of the game.
Yeah, that's the problem. Was always their business model. They couldn't make it as a software company. They had to sell their hardware.
Did you buy another one,
I'm
Brad?
gonna do the Brad on his show since he always does
Dude,
this online.
let's
He's always
go.
holding stuff
Yo,
up to the
that's right.
camera,
That's right. Look,
triggering my
don't
OCD.
Don't wait. Get this USB enabler right now. Order it. Don't be a chump. Don't wait and get one off of
Remember
eBay.
the floss.
No, I'm
Floss.
serious. I'm
Every
serious.
day,
I'm
floss.
just trying to tell people that have iArcades. You're gonna want this mod when you start seeing the stuff that we're doing with it and the stuff that's possible. You're gonna 100% want this mod.
You do
Like
want
steps.
this mod if you
Do the
like.
community a service and tell them.
I have the mod. I don't have as much time as they all have in converting all these games. So shout out to people who have been. But I
love arcade games.
I
Make time
enjoy
to-
it. You can
Hold
see
on.
My
right
favorite
behind,
games.
behind
Right.
me right now is Revenge of Death Adder. Did I pay
Uh-huh.
$550 for Revenge of
No.
Death Adder Cap?
But
Well, and that's exactly right. Like we were talking about Miss Pac-Man earlier.
Uh-huh.
We got Class of '81.
don't be a
on
chump.
our
Get it
iArcade-
now.
on our iArcade right now. We
Huh?
got Class of '81.
Look, man.
Running
Nix
proper
was on
route.
here. Nix was on here. The last iArcadians we did. Nix was on here. He's selling these boards for dirt cheap. He's not making a lot of money selling these boards for $20-$30. Don't be a chump. Order it now. Get your order in.
Man, you're making Nick's over here feel awful because he has the gold, and I think it's going to be on his way here pretty soon. Though
Yeah.
I hear,
hope so.
and you got to give a shout out to P Dubs for making the
Yeah.
sacrifice for that.
Yeah.
Well,
I've-
and Glenn's got the Viper board coming soon. You just interviewed
Mm.
him earlier today. I watched some.
Oh
of that.
yeah, the Viper board. That's gonna
Yeah.
be great. I can't
What
wait.
did Glenn say about that? I mean, tell us
He's-
because in case they haven't seen your stream
He
yet.
said that it's on. It's gonna be. He has it in a
Uh-huh.
couple people's hands
Uh,
that are familiar with Betsera, and they're going to be doing some testing and trying of it to make sure
Mhm.
it's the right fit. and I'm pretty sure one of those people's in the chat, but I can't confirm that.
I'm pretty sure of that too.
He says that it should be able to, run most of those things. I mean, if Batsera could do it, you could run it, and I'm really excited because I do want to play some console games on my iArcade as well, because there are some console games like NES games and like TurboGrafx games that play very, very good on an arcade stick.
They do, yeah.
And and so I'm still waiting to play some. I want to play some Duck Hunt. I want
absolutely. Once they get Sindens,
let's say any of the games before they started
emulation
using
on iArcade
shoulder
is going to
buttons.
be next level. This is where you go. Custom arcade, product, team encoder, USB enabler. Please do yourself a favor. Don't wait, because when you start seeing all of us YouTubers playing with this mod, show them what it's actually capable of, you will regret not getting on board. They're not going to make these USB enablers forever.
No, they're
this,
not.
Don't go to eBay.
This was a kindness done by, people that are very intelligent, very smart, and they designed this to give some life to the system that is now dead. So I'm just trying to do a public service to everyone that has an iArcade right now. Don't be a victim.
Who's the seller? Oh, not Papa Brad's Gaming.
Yeah. Well, no, I got
three of them.
I got a whole box.
I wonder who that is.
Don't buy it on eBay. Whatever you do.
Yeah, I mean,
unless Papa Brad lists it, then buy that one, right?
Yeah. Well, I gotta, I gotta keep the channel.
Someone
going,
really trying to sell the board for more than the whole cabinet.
Yeah.
$700, buy it now. 500 is the starting bid.
But for what it does to your iArcade, though,
it's worth it.
Yeah,
it would have been worth. Honestly, it is incredible. Like, once you do this,
even if you buy a brand, a cab that's been used out in the wild, and say it's only got the 12 preloaded games on it, if you can get your hands on this, it does't matter. It doesn't matter. You're good to go.
Find another iArcade.
Yeah, I mean, like, getting now. I'm searching for used ones. I'm gonna pick up another one, and I'm gonna do my grandsons too. So I'm excited. This is the best. I mean, this enabler board is an incredible thing. It's beautiful, and there are tutorials on my channel. It's so easy. Even Papa Brad can do it.
Yep, and it's very impressive how far things have come so fast. So it's only going to get better.
I mean, we easily have 80% of MAME ported. We have all the good stuff, all the stuff, all the bangers. I laugh. Like, I have every game that's all those games you can play now on iArcade, all of them.
Yeah.
And with Glenn's controls, like his USB 8-way to 4-way gate switcher, you can play them perfectly. You can play. Why wouldn't you?
And there's, Butterfingers was asking about light guns. That's being worked on. There's talk of online coming back. There's talk of online leaderboards coming back. So, with all this great vast, library of games that we have our hands on now, it's like, hey,
it's just a community system now.
Yeah, I mean, Butterfingers has got it. iArcade's the best multicade ever now. I got the USB enabler. I had 80 games. Now I have 280. And it's not even the 280. It's look at the 200 you just added.
Yeah.
Look at the games you're adding. You're adding the greatest arcade games of all time.
Now, I have a question. Steps, you can probably answer this.
It's the games that you are adding.
I get questions periodically from people. How does Revenge of Death Adder run? I got asked about that game
getting out
specifically.
It runs great.
Well,
you would
it
say
usually will run great, but when you get to the second level, like in between levels, that's where it screws up, and then it starts to get invisible. So if it runs good on the iArcade, man, that's gonna fast forward me into pulling that Gen 1 out and getting this thing going here.
You said the second level?
Yeah, in the like right in between the levels, they have this kind of like scenario that happens, and it screws that up. And then right in the second level, things start becoming invisible.
Okay.
First level plays fine, but once you beat the first boss is where it goes bad.
And another game I gotten asked about is Marvel vs. Capcom, and I saw a comment where somebody said, "Oh, I'm sure it plays better on Arcade1Up." Can we get any confirmation there? Because I mean, I'm not as familiar with the game as some of you guys are, but I think Marvel vs. Capcom plays amazing on the iArcade.
Yeah, it runs smooth as butter. I mean, what are we doing? Some Death Adder?
I played
Yeah,
it.
I want to play this game so bad. Like this was one of the Arcade1Ups I really wanted, but I hate that 4-player design. It just looks like a hammerhead shark.
Yeah.
Like, why do they need that? Why do you need 4 players?
Well, that's what I used to have.
I played all the way through Golden Axe. It played perfect.
In my
played to the end on Golden Axe.
And I recently moved it, because they take up so much room. Basically, where my Ninja Turtles was, I put the MVSX and the Big Blue there instead. So it's like 2 cabs in that one spot. So it's, I mean, and for how realistic you are, I mean, don't get me wrong. Before Arcade1Up was even a thing, and I was thinking about building my own, PC cabinet. I was thinking about getting a 4-player controls, because there's something about the 4-player controls that it's super nostalgic. But the practicality of them, I mean, some advice I would offer to Arcade1Up is, put out a 2-player Ninja Turtles, put out a 2-player Golden Axe, put out a 2-player X-Men. Those will sell, probably just as much, if not better, than the 4-player variants.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if Steps can make it through the level if it plays well.
Butterfinger says I need a better joystick. Yeah, that's my biggest complaint with my iArcade now when it comes to fighting games.
Well, it depends. Like the Samwas are great for like certain kinds of games, but they're not great for others.
Well, it's the gate. You need a different gate in there. The square gate just isn't ideal for fighting games, and then you need a better spring. So I think those are things I'm going to invest in for mine, instead of gutting it out and putting in like ILs or something, which I have thought about, because I mean, especially when I'm playing like Mortal Kombat.
See, it's playing fine. Look at that. This is where it gets all crazy.
Well, there you go.
Perfectly smooth.
See what I was talking about? That little scenario, like when you beat the level, it does that 3D thing, and then from this point on, everything starts turning invisible.
On what? The At Games?
On everything I've played it on.
It plays
At
perfect.
Games, it'll do that. It'll do that on
it's
Pandora's box.
It's perfectly buttery smooth. I mean, look at that. The emulation on the iArcade, I always thought that they must have spent a lot of time. I mean, it's a beast for playing these main games. It's like it was made for it.
Brad, since this has all been going on, has there been a couple of times in your that you've thought this? I know I have. Is as these games are getting ported over, like what were Michael and Jung doing after?
What were they doing the whole time? Like what were they doing? I could do 30 games a day, 40 games a day, the best ones ever made. I mean,
every day is Friday at Papa Brad's house.
Yeah, man.
Did I play enough?
Look at Steph's
No,
going.
go a little bit
keep
further.
Going,
I just
keep going.
want to
I'm
see.
enjoying the gameplay.
I want to see after the first boss.
Yeah, Brooklyn's a cynic.
So far,
Brooklyn is
it's
the
looking
holdup.
good.
We're all telling him, "What the hell are you waiting for?" He's a cynic. It's wonderful.
I'm telling you, there have been at least 2 or 3 occasions where I'm like, okay, I'm pulling the cabinet out and I'm starting this, and then I'm like, I want to play a VR game.
Well,
I know you
how many
love
games do you
VR,
have
and
on
that's
your
great.
iArcade,
That's
Brooklyn?
great.
How many games do you have on it?
Who?
On mine?
Yeah.
I think it was just under 300.
Okay, so that's going to be a long time to get it flashed and backed up. How long did it take you to
I know that part's going to take a while. That's going to be like an 8-hour process.
I would say I have the smaller hard drive, and I think I had 80 or so games on mine, and it took me a good 4 or 5 hours to do that.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about that part.
Yeah, I
just know-
had every game. Okay, now people are like they don't believe me, but I'm kid you not. I have every game that iArcade made, and it took 12 hours for me to back that mug up.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if it was my PC got bogged down or whatever, but I have every game they ever released, and it took 12 hours. I'm not kidding you, because I was like sitting by it because I didn't want to lose my game, and I wanted to make sure I had a good. I wanted to make sure I had a good backup. Playing perfectly. Playing like a champ.
I can't remember who put that comment on my channel, but there you go. Revenge of Death Adder.
There you go.
Wow, look at that.
Perfectly smooth.
Actually works.
Beautiful animation.
I've never even seen that. Because you
Look,
can't. When you
I'm just going to tell you again, iArcade community, do not be a chump. Do not play a scalping price. Get this while these guys are making this easy for you. You can just get these boards for like $30.
Yeah, like
Don't
35 bucks.
That's one of the first games I'm
Yeah.
putting on there. I've been
Don't
really
wait.
wanting to play this.
They did a fantastic job with the
Did I play along
Mystery
with that
Interstellar
program?
Arcade.
Yes, good job.
All right.
Yeah.
Could I show one of the second games that I'm going to put on if we move on to our next segment? Are you ready for that, Brad?
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready to roll with that. But once again, okay, so we talked about the scalping. Talked about that. Okay. Hidden arcade gems. Some games to check out through emulation. Okay. So we're gonna each give a game that we love that is a hidden arcade gem, and you can play these through, any way you want, through Raspberry Pi, through your PC with MAME, on the iArcade. And this was Brooklyn's choice. Let's make him full screen.
Yeah, this is my choice. This is Prehistoric Isle 2.
Check this game out.
Mistaking it with 1. 1 is good, but 2, man, like look at this game. It really takes you back. It gives you that like 90s nostalgia when you play this, and they really tried to do so much with it. It's a shoot 'em up game with dinosaurs, and
I love it. A shmup with dinosaurs. I mean, what could be cooler
and you're
than
you're rescuing people with the helicopters, fighting dinosaurs. They try to do all these different perspectives, really cool boss fights. You can't go wrong with this. I think that this is my hidden gem. This was one that I really had hope would eventually make its way to the iArcade, and I did have it in my top 10 most wanted games.
Yeah, SNK.
So some gameplay.
Some of the brands were missing a lot in this home arcade community. That when you go back to MAME, and start going back to MAME, or SNK and Namco. Yeah. There's so many great games that SNK and Namco made that are just totally have been forgotten about.
And let's not forget the licensed games, whether we're talking about RoboCop, Real Ghostbusters, Alien versus Predator.
For sure.
These games had very little chance of probably ever getting released elsewhere. It's not impossible, but it's
licensing would be so expensive because of the movie tie-ins.
Yeah.
And SNK. And then we have steps. So our first game we're recommending, Brooklyn, tell them the name of the game.
Yeah, okay. Prehistoric Isle 2.
Okay, now I got something special. I had to whip this together.
Check it out. Look at the game. I'm playing now.
Beautiful.
See what they do already?
Yeah.
I'm playing with a little delay, but just to show you the game. But check it out. Look at the dinosaurs.
That is amazing.
I'm a big fan of this game as well. That's a good choice, Brooklyn.
Good choice. Good choice. My family says looks like fun. Butterfingers is jazzed about playing this one.
Well, that's
full screen just for a minute.
See the people you got to rescue them.
That's amazing. This is cool.
Well, this is the whole point of iArcadians going forward. Is it doesn't matter what system you're playing.
We don't care what you're playing it on.
No,
we're just gonna talk about these great games.
Now watch, you'll go down into the pit. This is what I like about this game. They try to do like crazy stuff for the time.
Yeah, the backdrops are cool.
Mm-hmm. And this game will really push the Neo Geo hardware too.
Mm-hmm. And this was an SNK game, huh?
Yeah, I love everything from Neo Geo.
SNK.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that I don't know that they ever made a bad game. You know? I mean,
yeah, that's my pick. Even if you don't have an iArcade, you can play that on Legends Ultimate through CoinOps X. Enjoy it. It's really good. It's fun.
Awesome. That looks amazing. Okay, so up next, Steps, tell us a little bit. What's the name of the game that you recommend? The hidden gem.
I also
don't switch because I got a video now.
I also chose an SNK title.
Uh-oh.
I chose Guerilla War.
Okay.
Because a lot of people.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool arcade game video for you this evening. This is a good one here. This is
okay. Go ahead. Just tell us about it.
Okay, so Guerilla War, I actually played on the NES. I got the cartridge on sale. It was used at Blockbuster. I bought it for like $5, and I used to play it a lot on the NES. And I played the arcade version, and the NES game's pretty close. But if you notice something very familiar about the joysticks on that Guerilla War arcade cabinet, you'll notice they look like something that was just talked about on Glenn's Retro Show.
Guerilla War.
Yeah. They spin and they...
This is one of the SNK's
Okay, he's gonna tell us. This is
games. They made a bunch of them. The most famous one was Akari Warriors. This is really similar. They were all really similar. But we'll play it here in a minute, and you can see what you think. This was originally called Guevara, after Che. How do you pronounce his name? Che Guevara, the communist, who you know, was a revolutionary down in Cuba. Now, as we film this, Fidel Castro just died a couple days ago, so it's kind of interesting how that kind of stuff works out. But whenever they released this in America, they didn't want people getting all uppity about the communism thing, so they changed the name to Guerilla War.
Interesting.
See, there he is there, which kind of keeps the same kind of vibe, but they tampered it down a little bit.
Shout out to Joe's Classic Video Games. He's got a great channel where he shows you these arcade games, and this guy restores these games and resells them to people, but he brings them back to their former glory. So we're just going to skip around a little bit. There's a link to this full video in the description of this stream.
Eventually, someone will make that side art, and whenever they do,
look at that marquee.
Hopefully, whoever owns this cabinet, we will have sold it by then, but whoever owns this cabinet will buy it. Basically, the way that you would copy that side art is they. So I don't remember the whole story.
Okay, here's some gameplay. Now, the rotary joysticks were really unique. Tell us a little bit about those, Steps. I know there's some big news with the rotary joysticks too.
Yeah, so you could turn that stick at the same time of moving the character, so you could turn it to face different directions and throw. You could throw the grenades. Like you could turn around real quick with using that rotary joystick and throw behind you or to the side or whatever. And so that was the gameplay that you saw in Atari Warriors.
Yeah, you rotate the joystick and that controls where you're firing. When you get in the tank, you're controlling the turret with the rotary joystick.
And that's what makes some of these games is the way you play them. So to be able to play it in its original way, it adds so much to it. Just, you know, some games you just can't emulate unless you have the proper controller.
Yeah, my family says I also watch Joe's Classic. The dude knows his stuff for sure. I'm a huge fan of this channel. People always ask me, well, what do you watch? This is one of the things I watch all the time. Because if you really love arcade games, this guy gets really deep into them. And it's a great channel for that.
But this is ideal game for Glenn's new Atari Warrior stick.
Here, I'll turn the volume down. Is that better? Is that better? No, you don't have to talk over it. There you go.
So Glenn's Atari Warrior stick, this game's gonna play.
It's gonna be amazing,
and it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be.
So he's not mentioning this game when he's talking about it, and he really needs to because a lot of people know Guerilla War, and I knew Guerilla War before I knew Atari Warriors.
Yeah.
Just because of that game I just bought on clearance, you know, and so I'm really looking forward to Glenn's Akari Warrior Super Stick, so I can play some Guerilla War. To be honest, I just learned of like that the arcade had those controls. Actually, today, funny enough, when I found out, I was like, "Hell," because I love this game, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, so one on iArcade, Midnight Resistance, where they try to make you simulate spinning it while moving by hitting the buttons. It's impossible.
Yeah,
you can't.
Yeah.
You can't be accurate with it, and it
controls.
just ruins the game. So that's another one that'd be a lot of fun to play. It's all this style. Rambo, shoot 'em up.
Yeah. These
that
games
were really
are cool.
popular.
Man, unbelievable.
This is Glenn's favorite game. That's what Goofyfoot said.
Really?
Really? He told
Guerilla
me
War?
earlier. He was saying earlier that this one also has that control, and that he didn't really know much about it.
And by the way,
But hey, man, it's
so you
news
know
to
we
me.
don't lie.
But hey, I'll take it.
Did fix the coin.
I like Guerilla War. It was one of my secret favorites, I guess. But I mean, like I said, I mainly played it on NES. But I can't wait to play the arcade version with Glenn's new stick.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Be able to play these games finally with the correct controls.
Be a whole new experience.
You just like watching this video.
I'll play it on my iArcade, and if I can't load it, if I can't use his stick on my on the arcade board, I'll use the Viper board or whatever he's putting in.
Yeah.
Oh,
So anyway, the pick from Steps, Guerilla War, 1987, huh?
That's
Wow.
a good
Yeah,
Look at that art. That is bizarre.
I brought it up because
Violent.
you guys used my Filios like last week or something on somebody's show, so I was like, oh, they already used Filios, so I already talked to to the death about Ninja Spirit, so I was like, all right, I'll go something else. We go Guerilla War.
Yeah. Very good choice. Very good choice. Very good choice. Okay. Next up, we got Mikey J. Tell us about your hidden gem you picked.
All right, so my hidden gem is Psycho Soldier. Funny enough, another SNK game, and this is
SNK.
like Steps. This is a pre-Neo Geo SNK game. You know, because there's pre-Neo Geo, there's Neo Geo, and then there's the post-Neo Geo stuff. But what's interesting about this game is it has a tie-in with the King of Fighters franchise, which, in case people are unaware, that's kind of like SNK's all-star game, like their Super Smash Brothers, where all their characters can come in and play, and you can get characters from Metal Slug or in King of Fighters and stuff like that. And
if you're a fan of,
and here you go, play the video.
Oh no, it's okay. Let me add it in. Okay.
Games, specifically the King of Fighters franchise, you will inevitably run across fan favorite character known as Athena. And here is King of Fighters 98, my personal favorite. And here she is, and she's like this cute little anime girl, and you don't really know what her backstory is, where she comes from, because she's not from Fatal Fury or Art of Fighting or anything like that. So to try to figure out what her story is and where she gets these crazy powers was always something that kind of interests me. And I eventually did a little research, and she came from the game Psycho Soldier, because every character in the King of Fighters franchise does exist in some way, shape, or form in other SNK games. And this is her original game, known as Psycho Soldier. And it is a really unique and interesting experience. There's not really any other game like it that I've played. And I gotta be honest, I enjoy it. I think it's fun to play. And it's got this song that will get stuck in your head. Here, I'll be quiet so you can hear it a bit. And this song just plays over and over throughout the level and everything. Here's the chorus. And it's a fun kind of forgotten hidden gem from, not only arcades in general, but from SNK's library at that. But they always thought that the game and the characters were interesting, hence why they brought it back in the King of Fighters franchise. So yeah, my recommendation is give Psycho Soldier a try. You'll enjoy it.
There you go, Psycho Soldier, Mikey J.
And I wanted to say that I never played that game until fairly recently. I actually bought it on Switch. It was on the Switch store, and I was like, I'll give this game a try. I've never tried it, and I enjoy it. It's an early kind of arcade game, a little bit of platforming style, a little bit of shooting and action. But it's, like I said in the video, it's nothing like I can't think of anything else that's quite like it. Which it's always fun when you come across an arcade game. You're like, this one's unique. It's different.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Great pick. And my pick actually comes from this show, Arcade Talk and Star Wars Review. We have a segment on the Arcade Talk show where Carl O, who's a huge fan of ad games, picks a game. And we check it out and we play it. And he introduced me to an Atari game. I'd never even heard of this game. And it's called Peter Packrat. This is the definition of a classic arcade gem that is totally underappreciated. If you like games like Popeye, like the original Super Mario Brothers, I mean, this game is fantastic. And the reason why I don't think you saw it much is because they would have to convert games like Indiana Jones and Marble Madness and Paperboy. That was the system it ran on. So a lot of those machines never got converted to this game, and it's a shame because this game is incredible. And I just want to share a couple minutes of a video of it. This is Peter Packrat on the Atari. Gamers, we have something different for you today. Today we're going to check out Peter Packrat, a rare arcade game from Atari. Let's check it out. This is one I never heard of. This is a definite hidden gem. Shout out to Carl O and T. McCloskey, who will be playing this on Arcade Talk. Been playing a little bit to practice for the show. Must be a pretty rare game. Never came across it in the wild. Never really heard about it. Peter Packrat is a very rare, unusual, and pretty much a hidden gem in the Atari lineup. The game was made in 1985. It is a platform game. Was released by Atari Games for the Atari System 1 arcade hardware. It's programmed by Peter Thompson with graphics by Debbie Hayes, who was an animator who had worked on films such as Fire and Ice, Watership Down, and American Pop. Pretty cool. Peter Packrat is a platform game where the player controls Peter, a pack rat who gathers objects such as bottles, cans, and wrenches and must take them back to the starting point of each level. The game features 3 unique stages: a junkyard, a sewer, and a large tree. With the layout, number of enemies, and number of required objects changing each time you play a level. The huge variety of enemies is one of the things that makes this game really fun. And that plus the music, the animation. Peter can pick up and throw additional items to stun enemies, also allowing him the ability to ride some of the enemies about the stage. Points are awarded based upon the amount of time remaining when all the items are collected and the number of enemies stunned. The game has 4 levels that can be selected before gameplay: easy, medium, hard, and good luck. That changes the starting level. The level select also has a huge effect on how much bonus you get at the end of each level. So, for example, the medium will reward, I believe, up to 150,000 points for completing the level. score chasing this game, you probably want to start on the harder levels, get more points. One thing I really love about this game is the animation. Look how cool that is. I mean, come on. How can you not love a dancing rat? Pretty cool game. Take this owl for a ride. Let's go grab some loot. It's one of my favorite mechanics of it is that you can like fly around on some of the animals. It's a pretty amazing game that really I've never heard of. I'm surprised because I consider myself pretty knowledgeable about arcade games, but this is just one that never came across. Hope people play it after watching this video. Reminds me of a lot of other great games. It's definitely fun. If you like games like Popeye, Super Mario Brothers, this game is fun. The game was developed for the System 1 upgradable arcade hardware and uses the same audio and coding processing subroutines as the game Marble Madness. Maybe that's why you recognize the sound. If you ever played Marble Madness, tell us it's using the same sound chip. I'm playing this on the iArcade using MAME, but there's lots of ways to play this game. It's on Coin Ops X. It's in MAME. So if you have MAME, you can play it. You can play it on Raspberry Pi. Tons of ways to play this game. You can always play it on a PC too, using MAME. Have you heard of this game? Have you ever seen this game out in the wild? If you've seen this game before, please leave a comment and tell me where you spotted this game, because this is one that I've never ran across. And I wish I would have. Don't be a mean rat. Be a happy rat, like Peter Packrat. Hit that like button on this video. Really helps. We're flying around the screen, hitching a ride. That is the way to go. That's a huge trick in this game, is to shoot the enemies and use them to fly around. I think that's a huge help. Still doesn't help when you run into the other enemies though. It does allow you to get around the screen pretty fast. Here at Papa Brad's Game, and we're always on the lookout for hidden gems. Some of these arcade games that are in MAME that I may never have played before. There's some games that you like, you think Papa Brad should check out, leave them in the comments section. I'm always willing to take my viewers' opinions and check out some games. Easy to learn, difficult to master. This definitely falls into that category. Hooray! 32,000 point bonus. Wow. 41,924. That's a new high score for me. I think I'll call it after this. I was told that there was 20 different levels. And I guess it repeats on a harder difficulty. I have seen on YouTube this game does have a kill screen if you can survive long enough. I think the kill screen, from what I saw, it looked like it just started over. Anyway, that ends my gameplay. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, Okay, anyway, well, that was it. Now that everyone's sleeping. Wake up! Wake up!
So I want to say Arcade Talk, he says that you jacked their game of the week. That's my fault. This was my idea to do a hidden gems kind of one, and Papa Brad said I already got this one ready.
Yeah, this is a hidden gem. I had never even heard of this game, and I'll be honest, I keep going back to it. I like it. It's fun. Okay, next, you've had a lot of time to think.
He's still thinking.
We're putting you under the gun now. We're putting the pressure
since
on.
we started.
We're putting the pressure on. What would you say is a hidden gem arcade game that you love that really a lot of people don't play, but you really like it? I mean, I almost want.
There's this one shooter I played in the arcade. I'm just trying to find it here.
Okay, well, we'll get.
Well, he looks for it. Could I give two more?
Yeah, give two more.
Yeah, go for it.
Black Tiger and Magic Sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
Magic Sword.
I love Black Tiger. That's one of my favorite games too. And you know, a game I played that I was surprised how addictive it is when I got back to playing was Ladybug. I haven't played Ladybug in a long time. I've always played Mr. Do, which is a Universal game, but Ladybug is a lot of fun. And by the way, you know, one of the first things I did was I corrected a great injustice to the iArcade community. And I put all the nudity back into Twin Brats. Thank you very much, Papa Brad. Papa Brad restored the balance by correcting that version of the game. Isn't that right, Mikey J?
That is true. There was a great disturbance in the force. I
had to correct that. I had to correct that great injustice to the iArcade community, which was censoring that game.
So they were talking about Waku Waku in the chat, and I want to say I have that possibly on my MPSX.
Yeah, it's part of that bundle you can get.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. We could probably put it on iArcade if we ever decided to.
That's cool. Yeah. Has anyone ever heard of this game? Found out about Zoo Papa this week.
No.
My daughter and I do a 1/4 challenge with us. Cool.
He'll be hearing from my lawyers.
About the 1/4 challenges.
What happened here?
And Nick's just became an icon. Boy,
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, your hat looks awesome, though. I love that hat.
Speaking of which, you guys should go check out Nick's merch store. He's got some. He's got
reviews.
some.
There we go.
He's got some fire bling to some nice swag to pick up.
Twin Eagle, Revenge of Joe's Brother.
Oh,
Twin Eagle,
there you
Revenge
go.
of Joe's Brother. Let's check out some gameplay of Twin Eagle. Played by Nix.
Let's see, is there any?
Well, Nix is automatically good at anything he brings up, so.
Yeah.
This is a really good shooter.
Yeah, good helicopter one. There's a Twin Eagle too as well.
Turn up the brightness on your capture card.
Yeah, it's a little dim. It's okay though. We get the idea.
Yeah.
It's a shooter.
That's one of your go-tos, Nix.
Oh yeah, this one's difficult. Like, look at it. It's pretty difficult.
Hard, yeah, it's really hard.
Projectiles all over, but the audio sounds good if I had it. But yeah, it's really good. It's one that looks a little bit different than the other shooters. It stood out in the arcade when it was out there.
Awesome. And you know, it's fun now that I have all the cave shooters. Oh wait, I didn't say I have all the cave shooters on the iArcade, did I? Yes, because I do. The cave shooters are fantastic as well.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with any of those.
I mean, the cave shooters are amazing. So now I have all the Token and all the cave shooters.
Oh.
And they play fantastic on the iArcade. Just, you know, I think it's the hardware was really, I mean, like once again, I've been playing MAME for, you know, many years, including building my own MAME cabinet from scratch out of a real arcade. And I can tell you, this iArcade just runs these games flawlessly.
With the 19-inch monitor and 100-watt speakers.
Mm-hmm.
And HDMI streaming out. Yeah, it's
Even if you don't want to, even if you're not like a content creator, you can put a screen up there, and
I'm just saying, if you're an arcade gamer, if you're an arcade gamer,
it's to die for.
It is to die for.
Clean like a mother. Yeah. To die for.
Absolutely, Steps.
Absolutely. I can't wait. The initial D mods Bobby is doing are amazing.
Yeah,
been sharing some of his mod work.
Absolutely.
I mean, there is a reason he's called the king of the modders. There is a reason, and it is his skills are unprecedented. I mean, if you love arcade games and you love the stuff he does is next level.
He's the mod god.
Yep. Most, he says, do the cave shooters. I'm like, do they all play without issues? Most of them do. There's only a couple that I would say stay away from, but most of them run.
From my experience, MAME will tell you if there's any problem with the ROM. Like, it'll be like the graphics are imperfect or the sound is imperfect.
Yeah.
If there's an inherent problem with the ROM running in MAME, it's not going to get fixed on iArcade. It's not going to
get fixed on iArcade. If it doesn't run good on MAME, it runs the same on iArcade pretty much. Yeah. It's certain games they've never ran good in like Soul Edge. Yeah, it's in MAME. It runs terrible. And guess what? It'll run terrible on the iArcade because it's not optimized.
Yeah,
like the MAME emulation is not optimized. You'd have to go with something different that's more optimized. But
right.
Soul Edge is great too.
I do love Soul Edge. I do love Soul Edge and Soul Calibur. But anyway, we were going to do a 1/4 challenge, but I think I feel pretty good with the show. How do you guys feel?
Yeah,
I feel great. I'm about to feel even better.
Brooklyn can't wait to go do some VR.
To the VR mini golf course and dominate everybody.
Excellent. And thank you to everyone that joined us tonight for this kind of return of the iArcadians. We had a great show. I think we talked about a lot of cool things. We got to showcase some of our favorite hidden gems. And everyone, go enjoy your arcades. When you build an arcade like we have, go back and play some of those games and enjoy it. And I guess that's it. What's everyone have going on?
I want to say something real quick.
Go ahead.
If Brooklyn's not doing the Friday night arcade show, if he's not up for it that week, we're gonna do this. So
yeah.
So Friday nights, something's going on.
Something's gonna be going on
with this crew here.
Yeah, I agree.
It's too good not to do something. So
absolutely.
But Brooklyn, you get the first call.
For sure. We all love Brooklyn Mess. We love the Friday night arcade, and
save the Friday night arcade show.
yeah. Brooklyn, everyone wants to have the Friday night arcade show.
We didn't do it tonight, but we're here. We're together. I had a nice time.
Yeah.
It was 1 hour away from my gigantic birthday celebration.
Woo!
Yeah, I know. Congratulations.
I
Happy
plan
birthday.
on celebrating it by, if Rexer has the balls to show up, he knows where I'll be. Mr. Miami Cuddles and my family, I see him there. Kev Gret's hiding in Atlantic City. So but he's easy anyway.
Yeah. If he wasn't having an absolute blast, he would have been here.
Let me win for my birthday present.
I hope you absolutely have a wonderful birthday.
Thank you. I will, because my wife is in California.
Don't you love your wife?
Yeah, but it's so much more fun when she's not here.
Clearly, she doesn't watch your content then, huh?
Nobody does, but
it's all good.
I would pay for that comment after that.
Anyway, be cool and thanks for watching.
Stay legit.
brings me back to what I love about this amazing hobby of ours. You know, going to a real arcade or real locations that have pinball machines that you can play on location. Modern Stearns, classic Williams pinballs, you know, great classic arcade video games, you know, like some of the games I'm about to show. This was at the heart of why I started Papa Brad's Gaming. And the wonderful thing is that we get to experience some of this fun now at home. And it doesn't matter what brand you use to play arcade games at home. I mean, one of the great things is we have so much choice right now. We live in a golden age of home arcade. These games that were reserved as monuments in arcades, now we can play them all at home through emulation, through commercial products. Look at this high score on Miss Pac-Man. Pretty amazing. But, you know, playing the real machines is always what it comes back to. Look at the size of this CRT monitor. You know, I have a deep appreciation for real arcade games. And I just love it when I get to go on location and play these games out in the wild. Here's one I haven't seen in a while. Check out this Duck Hunt from Nintendo. Pretty cool. I'm enjoying my Send-In light gun.